Nice. We're back. We're back. Oops. Cool, cool, cool. Dunskies. Nice and fast. Up against Tim. On the play, which is nice. Bit of a yikes hand. Gemstone Mine is sacrificed when the mana is added. Good to know. Thank you very much. This does have one side of the combo, but other than that, it isn't doing much. So I am pretty happy to mulligan this. Again, pretty rough. We do have protection in both Pith and Needle and Not of This World. We do have the stage, but I think there is a better 5. Okay. So what is this hand? It's a 1-lander with Spirit Guide, which we can use for Sylvan Scrying. I don't mind keeping this. Urborg into Thoughtseize, and then we have Spirit Guide for Scrying, or to play Spirit Guide. I'm definitely keeping this one. I'm going to 4. And I think here... I think it's definitely Crop, and then it's between Not of This World and Reclaimer, and just because we're pretty far away from the actual combo, I'm going to drop the Not of This World, because Reclaimer we can actually cast. Opponent on 6. Ah, okay. We are up against a Esper Vial list. So this is an interesting one. I think it's the Brainstorm that I take here. They do have Recruiter, which can get pretty hectic once they get Soul Herder online as well. So it's really a case of, do I care about the Brainstorm being able to mold their hand probably on turn 2? Or do I care about the Recruiter? The thing is that their hand isn't too bad because they have 3 lands and 2 3-drops. So the Brainstorm isn't doing much other than finding stuff before that. Maybe finding a Swords to Plowshares. But the Recruiter's definitely finding a relevant card. By the time that it gets into play, they probably know what they're up against. I think it is just the Brainstorm. I could play out the Reclaimer here, but I am going to keep the Spirit Guide in case we don't draw a land for Sylvan Scrying. Okay. Another Urborg. Not the greatest. So we could Scrying for Dark Depths, or we could Scrying for a green land to then play the Reclaimer, which I don't mind. Let's just have a quick look. Yeah, I like just getting Confluence here and getting the Reclaimer online. It also makes use of the second Urborg, which is nice. Yeah, thankfully the Reclaimer here does make some use of the second Urborg. Okay. So we have to use 2 mana for the Elvish Reclaimer. So we can't Reclaimer and hold up Crop. And if we use Reclaimer now, we can play the Urborg, but that means we can't hold up Crop. But I think that's okay. What if we... Trade Urborg away for Dark Depths. And then hold up, untap and hold up 3 mana with Mana Confluence cropping away for stage. I think that's okay. We can just go double black here as well. Yeah, I like getting depths here instead of stage because that means also if we draw Hex Mage, that's another way to get there. We could draw Hex Mage and still have crop rotation open, which is really nice. Just getting a plains, interesting, but not using Swords to Plowshares. I guess we can also keep crop 4. If we got stage and then drew a land, we can untap with potentially 3 mana. I think my opponent's just going to go for basics. Interesting they didn't go for a swamp there with the polluted delta. Recruit is fine. So we know about Soul Herder in hand. They get Flicker Wisp. That's going to be fine. Hey, Epic, welcome. Thoughtseize. Thoughtseize is really nice. But it does mean we lose a mana, which is pretty huge. We know they have Soul Herder as well. So I think I'd rather tap out here. We can't wait. Yeah, so we know they have Soul Herder and Flicker Wisp. So the reason to use the Thoughtseize is if they have some sort of instant speed, like Swords to Plowshares. But I'm going to say they don't. Their play could even be Flicker Wisp, Flicker a land to hold up Swords to Plowshares. Yeah. Definitely tough, but I think we just have to try to go for it game 1. Okay. See what they fetch up. We know they have Soul Herder, which is a blue card, so it's not like we should crop in response to this to stop a force. Fencer. I think we just lose the Urborg here. So we go black, black, green. Sack the Urborg. And then if we untap, we then have access to multiple colors. This way as well, if we draw land, we can sack 1 to go and get step and get protection. But we need to draw land here. Oh, we do! Rah! step. Pro white. Ah, nice. Very good. Seeing they got the Venser, that made me think they didn't have a way to interact with the Lage other than the Flick Wisp, so nice to definitely get the full information before you go for it. This is going to be an interesting matchup. It's I think it's the Safekeepers that I like. It's probably some number of these cards. I'm going to quickly check. I know that Tom had a video with Jonathan Yannick that did really well. Alright, here we go. Oof, yeah, Oof seems pretty strong. We're looking at Rainbow and we're looking at Esper Vial. Alright, so 2 Decay and 3 Safekeeper, sure. And then we're taking out the Bojuka Bog, Spirit Guides, Petal, and Duress, just because we're a little bit slower. So we want these 5. We want to take out a Duress, a Petal, 2 Spirit Guides, and Bog. Nice. That does make sense as well. Esper Vial is largely creatures, so Duress is potentially a miss. Lotus Petal and Spirit Guides just because we want to slow down a little bit. And then Bojuka Bog because our opponent doesn't really have any way to interact with the graveyard meaningfully. There might sometimes occasionally be something like Savine's Reclamation, but outside of that, that's pretty good. Decay, mainly for hitting Vial can be really good because Esper Vial's mana base is pretty tough at the best of times. And Sylvan Safekeep is really strong against multiple things. Karakas, Sword Splashes, Flick Wisp, Venser. Just a really strong threat that our opponent has to deal with. I don't think our opponent would be bringing in Plague Engineer, but if they know the matchup, they might, because they know that Hex Drinker is a X1, they know that Safekeep is coming in at X1, so it should be an interesting matchup. Okay. Definitely an interesting hand. And it's not too bad. So we have one piece of the combo in Thespian Stage and a way to find the second in Reclaimer. We also have great mana. We have some fast mana in Spirit Guide and Interaction in Thoughtseize and Abrupt Decay. So I think because I do want to play this game a little bit slower than most matchups, I'm pretty happy to keep this. Opponent also kept 7. Underground Seed Pass. Okay. Potentially holding up Brainstorm. Well, there's Depths. Okay. So, I don't mind just going Mana Confluence into Thoughtseize. Double Strix is pretty tough, but at the same time, Reclaimer into Protection solves that. They do have Karakas and Wasteland, but they don't currently have the mana to cast these Baleful Strixes, which is interesting. I think because Step answers Strixes, I don't really care about them. Skyclave I can also potentially play around. So I think it's just Recruiter here that gives them a little bit of flexibility. Hey Nathan, hope you're well. Cool to see you play some Maverick recently. So I think it is just the Recruiter here. They also don't have double white yet for the Skyclave, so pretty happy to pay that. The question is, do I want to use the Spirit Guide here for Reclaimer? I don't believe I do. It'll be interesting to see how aggressive our opponent is with this Wasteland. Especially if they don't draw a land here to cast Strix. They're going to play Karakas and pass. That's fine. Scrying. Okay. Scrying gives me access to Wasteland, which is really nice. So I think here I just like Stage Reclaimer. I don't really want to play the stage into Wasteland, but at the same time, I do want to have stage down for Dark Depths next turn. So I think this is fine. Scrying for Wasteland is pretty strong as well. I could have used Elvish Spirit Guide there to scry, but if they Wasteland the stage, then I potentially want to scrying for that. Recruiter. Okay, this is fine. Probably just grabbing Flickwisp, but they don't have double white yet. They grab Soul Herder. Okay. Oh, Thoughtseize is huge. So I believe the play is just use Spirit Guide and Thespian Stage to scrying for Wasteland, Wasteland the Caracas, and then Thoughtseize them. I do like taking them off their only white. Let's Thoughtseize first. Oh, they have Venser. Okay. Vents is a little far off. Strixes, again, we don't really care about. The Soul Herder Flickering Recruiter is definitely annoying. And at least once you know about Venser, you know about Venser. Could also see a world where we just play Gemstone and then hold it up for Reclaimer. But I do want to get rid of the Caracas here just to take them off that mana. So let's go Exile, Scrying. Good, thanks, Nathan. On a day off, which is nice. Sometimes just need a day to yourself. Alright. They find a Tundra. So they play a Strix. They have Wasteland open, that's fine. Inquisition. Okay. Meddling Mage. Okay. Pretty happy just to take the second Strix here. I could potentially take the Skyclave because that allows me to hold up Reclaimer. I guess if they want to cast a Skyclave as well, we could switch one of these lands with Step, but Step I really want for the Baleful Strixes. So I think I'm actually happy to go for here. Hey Fabman, welcome. Hope you're doing well. Yeah. Hey Dom, very cool to hear. MTGO is a nice way to get into formats, especially like Legacy. This is actually pretty big. I think it is just going to be the extra Strix. The extra draw is pretty big as well, to keep them off 4 mana for the Venser. I don't want a 6 either, because then they can just wasteland me and I can't use the mana. I'm going to assume it Middle Image name's Crop Rotation. But seeing that we have the Reclaimer in play, I could also see them going after something else, like Hexmage, perhaps? They do name Crop. Okay. No attacks is really interesting. I don't think I actually want to do anything here. I think I just want to get Needle into play if I can draw it. Sometimes it just happens, let's be honest. I guess that means that Skyclave is a way to get rid of Needle, which is annoying. So maybe that was actually the thought process. Take Skyclave because it answers Pithing Needle. Alright. Needle first. I should have actually used the stage, because then I could hold up Abrupt Decay on Baleful Strix. Just poor sequencing there from me. I probably don't want to show the Wasteland yet either. Oh, sorry, the Dark Depths. So I am just going to pass here. Actually, no, I'm happy playing it because we have the Reclaimer already in play. If they do want to aggressively wasteland me, they can just Reclaimer for it. Sadly, Decay on Skyclave trigger means you don't get a token out of it because they target the Pith Needle, and then in response, if you Decay Skyclave, they found the second white. The Leave the Battlefield trigger happens when the Skyclave dies, and it sees nothing. So you get nothing, and then the Pithing Needle gets exiled. Wow, they're passing with... Venser up. That makes sense. Okay. Well... Now they're in a weird spot, because... Venser doesn't stop much. Yeah, Urborg could be really nice, because then we could crop for step in response to Venser. Opponent still has 3 cards, and we know those 3 are Skyclave, Venser, and Blank. I don't want to tap out here either, because then my opponent could Venser wasteland me. So I really want an Urborg. Hexmage is interesting, but probably not what I want here. I would love to rotate for... I guess... I really want to, yeah, make sure I have the mana up to create a 2020 in response to Venser, so I can't crop here and have up 2 mana and Thespian Stage. We currently only have 2 mana plus stage, so I do need 1 more land. I'm not going to do it. That's fine. Hey Rick, welcome. I guess I could have... That's okay. Meddling Mage naming crop as well is something to remember. So I really want a natural Urborg. Stage. Yeah, Meddling Mage is really strong here. This probably comes back to taking the Strix. But I probably don't mind seeing what happens here. Opponent looking to do something, which is interesting. Flicker Wisp is okay. Target Recruiter. Okay. End step, this comes back. Hey Mana, welcome. I can copy and do things, but I don't want to do things when they have Venser in hand. That's the big issue. Because then they can just respond with Venser, Bounce Needle, Wasteland me. Which, to be fair as well, getting it out of the way is pretty nice. I think I'm okay to jam here. Because Wasteland's covered. Yeah, the issue is we can... Charming Prince is pretty sweet. I think I just want to get rid of the Meddling Mage. Just to turn on these crop rotations. Now we need an Urborg to turn on this gemstone. Stifle. Stifle's interesting. Okay. Sadly, I can't tap the gemstone mine for mana and then sack it to crop. But I do want to do things on my turn to play around Venser here a little bit, if I do want to do something. I think it is just Confluence Gemstone into an Urborg. But I guess we'll see. We can Stifle Venser, but currently we only really have one source of colored mana. Because Gemstone Mine doesn't really tap for anything here. I guess I could sack a stage to crop. That's pretty interesting. Probably having a good think about attacking. End step. Okay. Let's float sack stage. Okay. Makes things a little bit easier. see if my opponent wants to do anything. They don't. I don't want to make... I don't believe I want to make stage, because I know about Charming Prince as well, which is a way for Flickerwisp to get through. It's tough because if we make stage, untap, crop, give pro black. I guess, okay, so end step make Lage, Venter comes in, bounce, we stifle it, untap, crop for pro blue, so they have to block with Flickerwisp. They untap, they then have Venter and Charming Prince, and we don't have a way to interact with that. So I don't think we can make it here. Ooh, Inquisition. Does that change things? That does, because it actually gets rid of the Charming Prince. Also, gain 3 is pretty big for them. I don't mind Hexmage here. Hexmage hold up Stifle and Crop. But then maybe we're just dead too. This should be fine. See how they attack. Just the one. Okay. Interesting. Let's quickly have a look at what we have. We have the step. Okay. Cast Hexmage. This makes attacking with other things a little bit rough. Play Urborg and keep this one. And now we have up the combo and also Stifle or Crop. This also stops the Recruiter from attacking. That's fine. That buys me some time, which is nice. Ooh. Are they? Opponent. Just the... Classic. We still have one more turn. We still have many more turns we can draw into a decay and have double removal for these creatures. Safekeep is also really good. Maybe that's what I was waiting for. Or should have been waiting for. We're also down to 6 minutes, so we do have to make sure that if there is a game 3, we have enough time to not rush it. Fetching's fine. Yeah, definitely a lot to take into consideration with Esper Vial. A lot of different cards. Did they just play a land or just fetch? No. Okay, so they haven't played a land yet. Skyclave. Skyclave's gonna be okay. We'll see what the trigger does. Take out Needle. I feel like I want to stifle this, to be honest. Hey, MTG the Epic Storm. Welcome. I hope you're doing well. This might be Baron to return. Okay. Interesting. This is actually okay. I don't think there's any reason not to go for it here and see how it comes out. I'm actually pretty happy just to make it here and kill the Recruiter, let's be honest. Unless they have, like, Karakas in hand, but if they have Karakas, they have Karakas. Can't really play around Karakas. Unless I really went all in on the sack effect. They haven't played a land yet, so definitely could be. Another Urborg. Okay. Well, we get a free attack, which is nice. This is okay. No, I think I just hold up Crop rather than Sylvan's Safekeeper. I guess Safekeeper gives me 2 ways to interact, but Crop only gives 1. So I think actually Safekeeper is better. DOB. I'm not too sure what DOB is. I'm trying to think if there's an extra way to use this Sylvan Safekeeper, but... Ah, yes, we have to play the Sylvan Safekeeper out and block. Interesting. But then we just lose to the... Yeah. Yep. 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 Pretty happy to run this back. I think because of time, I'm actually going to go a little bit more heavy on the Spirit Guides. Take out 1 Duress. And 1 Scrying. No, Scrying's pretty good. 1 Safekeeper. The issue was that we had the Flicker Wisp in the air, which was 3 damage. I guess what I had to do was give Pro first to make them block with the Flicker Wisp. But yeah, tough. Yeah, Swords does buy us a lot of time, that's very correct. Especially when they're attacking for only a few damage a turn. Alright, we have 4 minutes. This is a double scrying hand with... So turn 1 Inquisition, turn book scrying for Dark Depths. I don't mind this. It doesn't play around Wasteland well, but it's a fast enough hand to try to win in 4 minutes. Alright. This is a hand where I can just take the Charming Prince because I care about the 3 life. I could take the Force, but the 3 life is pretty huge. Stage. Oh, that's interesting. Okay, so exile, tap, scrying. Inquisition doesn't take Force, of course. I knew mentally I didn't think of Force, and that's definitely why. This looks like they're going to Force pitching something. Pitch Brainstorm, okay. 3 minutes. Heaps of time. Planes, sure. Vial? Cool. Pedal, interesting. That's actually pretty good. Cast. Green. Scrying. Dark Depths. Play it. 6. Gilded Drake does have flying, which is relevant. So if they have land here, they get to Teferi, which turns off Not of This World, which is pretty huge. I guess next turn they can also Teferi and then have up Vial. Rough. Teferi's really good. So now I need to find a green source for decay on Teferi. Which is tough. Stifle doesn't do anything here, but I can copy the island and turn on Stifle if I need it. Teferi's really strong. Definitely a lot of answers for them. It feels a little bit like Death and Taxes. Yeah, Stifle does nothing until I get rid of the Teferi. But I think they just get Wisp here, and then it's GG's. Strix, okay. Okay. That's the start I wanted. I don't think I want to use Stifle just yet. Put in a creature here, that's fine. Draw a card is fine. It's really something like Caracas, Wasteland, Gilded Drake's ability. We're just like one crop away from protection, which is nice because they're both blue flyers. Vial still at 2. Wisp is interesting. I think triggering this is fine. Because Not of this World stops Drake. Come on, crop. Come on, crop. Mana Confluence. Alright. Pretty happy to take a few attacks here. Because I don't want to play anything out just with Not of This World. Soulhead is pretty good, but... I guess we can see what they get with Recruiter. But seeing that they have Soul Herder with Not of This World, I need more than just these to go off next turn, because then they go back to their turn, they have Soul Herder, Flicker Wisp. Sadly, just a little bit too slow. The Teferi was huge, because that really stopped our ability to go off on their turn. But cool games. Definitely really interesting, which is nice. Meddling Mage is fine. Yeah, definitely pretty tough with the Vial as well. Hex Mage. Okay. Can reset the Vial here. Ah, stuff with the Exile trigger is pretty cool. Interesting. See how aggressive they get. I think you just play time. You don't really have to attack. They're going to attack with a Soul Herder. Interesting. Righto. Pretty happy to get rid of the Soul Herder. We still have 2 minutes. I mean, even if they've Sword here, we have the Not of This World. $20 life doesn't mean too much for me when I have 2 minutes on the clock. And we still know about Drake. Drake's definitely the big one. Ooh, okay. Look, never say never. I guess Drake also blocks, so I still need something else, I believe. It has to be Not of This World into Crop, I believe. Ah, Drake doesn't block? Interesting. Okay. This is fine. Drake trigger. What's not? Two cards left for my opponent. A minute 40 left. Okay. I am just going to 6 here. I don't have the time to try to bluff anything. They put Vial to 3, which is always rough. Oh, interesting. They don't attack with Gilded Drake. Needle? Okay. I will cast this. I think I just name Vial, just in case of anything else. I could name Caracas, but I think their 3-drops are just better. It means I can't go 3-drop into 3-drop, so like Recruiter into something else. Oh! One time. One time. Ah, Strix. Okay. Fair. Fair, fair, fair. Oh, no. What's this? Skyclave's fine. Recruiter. Okay. Okay, we get one turn. We get one turn. We get one draw. And it can't be Abrupt Decay, unfortunately. We put up a fight. We put up a fight. Yeah, Skyclave is fine. Because it can't kill tokens. Rough. Tough. And they have Caracas, yeah. Tough one. Tough one. Cool games though. Really enjoyed that. Yeah. Tough. I'm just gonna get my water bottle. I'll be back in a sec. Hey Zalego, thanks for the follow. Hey Dark Poet Bill, I am streaming on a Monday. Wanted a me day, so got some annual leave, which is always nice. Tough one. Tough one. Alright. The funny thing is I actually played this to hopefully have some quick games, but that did not work. Yeah, I don't mind this. It has Thespian Sage and Dark Depths through Sylvan Scrying, which is good. Me days are the best day, yeah. Some days you just have to take a day of yourself. Relax a little bit. JJ the Giant Slayer. Island. Ponder. Okay. Let's see what Ponder does. This makes me think it's going to be like a blue-red Delver deck, but chose no shuffle. I probably don't mind Gemstone, especially against a Delver deck if they are playing Wasteland. I'm just going to start off with probably Thoughtseize. If they have like one threat, then I'm happy to take that. Oh. Oh, okay. Happy to take the Brainstorm here and leave them with the Ritual. Pass. Delta. LED. Okay. Urborg. I don't mind Urborg Duress. And yeah. Now this is the interesting one. I feel like it's just Ritual. If I really wanted to, I could hit pass and the next time scrying for Bojuka Bog, but I think you also want to take the Ritual. And maybe get to a stage where Bog's in a better position and actually does more to my opponent. There's the Volk. There is a world where I could have gone Stage last turn and just Gemstone mined that last mana for black, but then I don't have it around for another color unless I lose it. Oh, okay. And that's actually a good reason to probably just play Depths and pass. Best draw is most likely just crop rotation next turn, because then we can play stage, hold up the combo, and hold up a green for crop rotation. Who stole the Goblins' gold? Who stole the Goblins' gold? Chantel. Another LED. Okay, that's pretty big. Oh, do they have Infernal Tutor? And then Double Crack? Yikes. Adnors. It's pretty good. They hit Tendrils. They hit Past in Flames. It's pretty good for us. Hit another Tutor. They really need some sort of... Okay, there's Petal. No, they need a Ritual. 1, 2. They don't even have a Cabal yet. There's another Petal that helps. They still got to go, I believe. They only have Hand Disruption and Win Conditions. They do have a Tutor, but they can't Tutor for anything else that they really want now. LED. Okay, that's still fine. Preordain. Sure. I think you just have to hit at least one Ritual. I don't think there's a world. Maybe there is. Storm count 4, 5, 6, 7. Preordain. I guess you can also Brainstorm to hit 3 cards. They can, yeah. Okay, yeah, so they can actually, they're going to Duress us, that's fine. Alright. Tendrils. Nice. Flusters, yes. Oof, yes. Maybe Surgicals. Let's have a quick look at what Tom does. This is going to be Ant. 2 Surgical, 2 Leyline, 1 Oof, 3 Fluster, Needle, Scrying, Not of this World, Spirit Guide. Nice. It's pretty easy. Yeah, they definitely had enough. Especially with the LED into Past in Flames if they really wanted to. Definitely seems like a fine matchup for us. We have a lot of hand disruption, counter magic, post board. Stifle's obviously quite good, but just got to be faster than them. Definitely nice to be starting on the play. Leyline not really needed in the opener if the hand is good enough. Definitely the reason why there's only 2. It's just a nice luxury to have in the opening hand. So we have Bog, Step if needed for bounce effects, Stage, Wasteland, City. Nice. This is pretty good. I mean, turn 1 Inquisition, turn 2 Hexmage with Dark Depths. Can't really get a better hand. Opponent kept 7. If they have a Duress, I'll leave it. Oh, they have double Thoughtseize. Okay, that makes me want to just take the tutor then and leave them with the second Thoughtseize. I guess I could have also gone turn 1 Hexmage, turn 2 Depths. Maybe that was the better play. I guess we gotta go with this now. I'm just gonna take the tutor. All right. Alright, opponent. Let's see you go off. Alright. Classic. Magic is pretty easy sometimes. Cast a spell, cast a spell, cast a spell. Seize bug. I know the Seize bug was something for a while, but I haven't heard much of it since. A modern miracle. Hope everyone's doing well. Hope you're having a nice weekend. Hopefully most of you got to have some time with your mothers this weekend. Huh. I think this is a mulligan. Let's be honest. Ooh, no lander. 1 lander? Okay. Keep this, and I guess we just bottom Reclaimer and 1 Hexmage. I could try to go turn 1 Reclaimer to keep up Bog. But I think just going for Hexmage is better. Maybe it's a case of like Reclaimer and Thespian Stage. That way we get to work through 1 Thoughtseize. Hey, Mr. Lee, a huge thank you for the raid. What did you play? This is an interesting one. Five-color hunting ground show and tell. Nice. So second stage is also interesting because if the first one gets there, the second one can also hit something like Wishclaw Talisman. I'm going to drop one. I'm just going to keep the natural combo and hope to draw into some sort of early disruption. Okay. Do have some pretty good ones. I mean, Stifle, Flusterstorm, it's definitely a lot. Ooh, okay. I'm going to play out Stage, because if we draw another ETB, another Lotus Petal effect, we can just play Depths next turn. Maybe there's actually premise to playing the Lotus Petal. I think there is. Dress is fine. Can really just 6 here as well. Urborg. Okay, I don't want to play the Urborg because I want that to be unknown. Alright, opponent. Definitely happy I didn't keep the opener. Lotus Petal, Elvish Spirit Guide, Fluster, Stifle, Crop, something else. Hey Joanne, welcome. Maverick will definitely be back soon. I think I am happy just playing into a bounce effect. Oof's actually pretty nice. Especially seeing they just used a Echoing Truth. Ooh, okay. That gives protection as well, which is really nice. So I'm just going to use the Mana Confluence here. 2/2 beats can definitely get there. As a big fan of 2/2 beats, definitely come off a lot of 2/2 beats that have been really good. Ooh, double crop. Okay. Now we're talking. Nothing. Opponent having a think about their hand. Oh, Thoughtseize first. Okay. This is interesting because I could hold up... I could let them take Crop and then hold up either Step or Bojuka Bog. Or I could just go for the combo. Beats by Dr. Oof. Go for the combo does seem okay, especially with the Oof already in play. Yeah, chat's definitely saying combo. I'm going to take a screenshot and also put it up on Twitter for later on. It's pretty interesting. the old paint. All right. So black. Oh, actually, I can use this for black. There we go. So float 2 black. Crop away gemstone mine. This does add to storm, which is a little bit rough if they are going to go off. Get depths. Let this resolve. They're going to try to change phase here. I would say that the turbo versions definitely always use Lotus Petals, but if you're playing lands or like slow depths, then I could definitely see, oh, that's a huge draw. Why you would play Mox Diamonds. So Mox Diamond's really good in like the lone builds or the slower builds with like Sylvan Library or Duck Confidant, but these builds are much more all in. It's kind of a sort of process where you're like, I'm going to win before not having the mana for Lotus Petal the following turn is going to be a consideration. You're not expecting to untap, I guess, is the big thing if you're casting the Lotus Petal in the Lotus Petal builds. Alright, opponent. One card left. Tutor's going to be fine. We can't stifle the LED trigger, but we can stifle Storm, which is pretty huge. And that looks like what my opponent is just doing here. Unfortunately for them. Feels pretty good. Opponent. Definitely feel for you. Ponder's going to be fine. Chose not to shuffle. Okay. Wasteland's pretty good. Take that. Pretty happy to Wasteland here as well. Wasteland not doing a ton for us, so... They probably could have gone for Past in Flames because of the Lotus Petal, but they obviously just thought, with one card in hand, they had thought this just the turn before, that, yeah, they thought the coast was clear. Chose not to shuffle again. Alright. I really just want to draw like a Hex Mage to start attacking with. Leyline's a little bit old. I guess they can't use the Lotus Petal, unfortunately, because of the Collect Oof. Apologies. Preordain is a... Scry 2. Tutor. Okay. Probably going for... what are they going for? Spirit Guide. Okay. I guess Spirit Guide's relevant. The Wasteland was probably relevant because of casting Spirit Guide early. Wow. The grind is real. Alright. Always nice to get up against Ant. Some pretty lucky draws for us, let's be fair. That Stifle off the top was really nice. Yeah, Stifle's pretty good against Storm. Thankfully, it is a trigger that you have to announce when you cast the card, so... it would have been tough because they had LED and Lotus Petal, but they were owned by the Collector Oof. So it would have been tough. Maybe if there's a way for my opponent to make red mana and keeping a red mana open for a Past in Flames Lion, but it's pretty tough. Yeah, so this build is just Tom's build. Tom Hep, who's Negator 77, usually just runs the 2 Stifles main deck and then flusters in the sideboard for this sort of matchup. Stifle still works if they Veil as well, which makes it still pretty great. Exactly. Really nice. Hello, Fox, by the way. Hopefully see you on Wednesday. Hey, Grid. Welcome. I hope Melbourne's doing well. Did you play... Was there a Legacy event on the weekend? Or was that last weekend? I feel like it was last weekend because of... it's a pretty good hand. A little bit of everything, which is nice. Yeah. Because of Mother's Day, I assume not. Sadly, won't be at... Oof. Oh, please don't chalice me. Okay. This isn't too bad. Grim's pretty good. Alright. Yep. Okay. What are they Khan for? Is it just Lattice here? We definitely needle Khan. Probably just off the mana confluence. See what they get. Maybe liquid metal coating? Liquid metal coating is actually quite good. LED. Oh, that's fine. Okay, they think they have Lettuce Lock next turn, but luckily we have Khan. Unless their last card was Echo. I don't think so. Stage. Okay. Pretty happy to confluence into Pithing Needle here. Name Khan the Great Creator. I don't think I would replace Spirit Guides because green's just so good with cards like Crop Rotation. So to have Crop Rotation online at instant speed being tapped out is really huge. And then also little things like casting some sort of guide effect. Mesmeric Orb. Okay. That's pretty good at tapping me out. Hex Mage. Okay. So this is whenever a permanent becomes untapped, that permanent's controller mills a card. And this is make 3, untap 3. Play the Gemstone. And I think here we just play the... Just hold up Stifle and Crop if needed. Could also play the Reclaimer out, which is actually looking pretty strong. So this obviously taps and untaps itself forever. And Mesmeric Orb is whenever a permanent becomes untapped, that permanent's controller mills a card. Okay, I thought for a second this could target me when they untap this, so they could mill me out. But I guess Stifle buys us a turn. Just. So I will get Reclaimer into play. I assume they can try to Mesmeric Orb their way to get a an Echo of Eons into the bin. Oh, there's Echo. Okay. I can't really do anything here. I could crop if I really wanted to. But it's not really a great crop target. Well, now we can just 6. This is definitely a matchup where I want Collector Oof. But very interesting list. Seems like a mix-up between kind of like Dice Factory and Urza Echo. Oh. Okay. I probably want to actually use a Spirit Guide. It doesn't really matter because of the defense grid. And it's not like I can get everything into play. Opponent really going for it. How often do new cards make it into Legacy? I would say under 5 within every 2 new sets. It's pretty tough because there were a lot more cards that came in from Modern Horizons than there were from, say, Strixhaven or something like that. So it's usually these supplemental products, maybe like a Commander deck or a Modern Horizons or an Eternal Masters kind of set. The sets where they usually print new cards that kind of bypass Standard and Modern or just Standard. But yeah, before then, I guess there were like some pretty big sets. Like Innistrad was obviously huge. Return to Ravnica was pretty big with cards like Deathrite Shaman, Rest in Peace, Abrupt Decay. But yeah, since then, like M20, we got Elvish Reclaimer, which I think is a really nice card and pretty well balanced between power and playability, which is cool. I assume my opponent might be playing something like Walking Blister, which is a win condition. Yeah, that's a big thing as well. So new cards can make old cards playable again. So obviously, Chain of Smog never really saw competitive play or any play in Legacy, but with the new Magecraft ability, it's obviously a fine card to play around with. I think what I should have done is played the Thespian stage and just held up Mana, Spirit Guide, and then I could Spirit Guide into crop rotations perhaps with the amount of echoes that are going on. But I do want to see what my opponent has as a win condition outside of the Khan. Abundant Harvest is a pretty interesting card. I know that Anzi's been playing it in sort of like the Bant mid-range decks, which look pretty cool. I had someone play against me in another Bant deck that looks really strong. Especially because all your cards are just so powerful that if you name non-land, you're going to hit something very good. No Echo yet. They're obviously just trying to find an Echo. They have 15 cards left, which is interesting. There is a world where I can just exile Simian Spirit Guides and hopefully hit the other ones to then get to a stage where I can crop rotate into Pajuka Bog to hit my opponent's graveyard to take them off the amount of cards they can draw into. So I'm actually going to exile this and then just pass priority. Just to save some time. Summoner's Pact to go find Elder Spirit Guide. Nice. Nice. Haha. I haven't seen a win condition outside of Khan in this deck yet, so I don't want to concede because there is the case of just untapping and being able to combo off. And with Khan turned off, there's no like Ensnaring Bridge I have to worry about. No Mycosynth's Lattice, of course, which is nice. I'm not sure how they would get rid of the Pithing Needle in their main deck. Maybe something like Blast Zone, but I haven't seen it yet. They're obviously trying to get to something. There's Ballista. Oh, okay. They milled Ballista? And they have 0 cards in deck. Classic. I'll take it. I will definitely take it. So what are we looking at? We're looking at Force of Vigor being great, Collector Oof, most likely Abrupt Decays, and most likely some sort of combo of these. Alright, let's quickly look at some sort of Khan Forge deck. Khan Echo. Alright. 2 Leyline, 2 Decay, 1/1. And then just taking out Not of This World, Stifles, Petal, Step. That makes a lot of sense. So Step we can take out because this is a colorless deck. Not of This World, they don't really have interaction with our creatures. Force of Vigor, Collector Oof, Abrupt Decay, really good against their suite of artifacts. What else was there? One Caracas, yeah. Caracas is interesting if they're playing Urza, but I don't think they are. I'm going to go with Surgical, just because there is a case where we can Surgical them off their win condition. And then, yeah, we're taking out the 3 Not of This Worlds, we're taking out Step, 1 Petal, 2 Stifle. Stifle is definitely interesting, but I think this is okay. Surgicaling their Echo is sick. It's just getting in a situation where you can do that. Because usually if they put their Echo in the bin, they have priority again to get it back before you can actually Surgical it. This is probably fine. I mean, it's turn 1 Hex if I really want to, turn 2 Scrying, or turn 1 Abrupt Decay. Definitely a lot of things we can be doing. Having Hex as well is really nice. Hex target, like, if they're playing Chalice, Hex target Chalice is pretty good, taking them off their 1 mana spells. Turn 1 Hex does kill Khan as well. Grim's okay. Another explosive start. Mystic Forge. Yikes. Mana Confluence. That's pretty good. I think it's just... They get to untap with 4 mana. I think it is just going to be Hex off the Petal. Just nice and quick. So black, black, Hex, pass. So we'll see how this goes. Graham's pretty good. Mystic Forge, a really nice card as it plays around Abrupt Decay. One small downside of playing out the Hex Mage is it dies to Walking Ballista without getting really any value. Ooh, Echo gets exiled. That's pretty huge. But now Key can start untapping some things pretty well. Another Key. Yikes. This is why Collector Roof is just so strong. Another Grim. Yep. Another Forge. Okay, that's actually pretty strong, because now we get to go... Scrying for Dark Depths and play Dark Depths. Attack for 2. And then we also have Abrupt Decay for Ensnaring Bridge. We have Hex Mage backup for Khan if that's an issue. So actually in a pretty good position. Don't want to die to a Walking Ballista if they get enough mana for it. I assume not, but you never know. Very cool deck, to say the least. Khan is going to be A-OK. It's Miracle. Okay, interesting. They do have a lot of mana. I'm just not sure what they can do with it because they can't really get there with Micro Syncytius because we already have the win in play. They would need something like Lattice into Ensnaring Bridge. They're also at 8, so... Defense grid's fine. I don't like saying it, but I don't think my opponent has an out. At least that I can think of, because I guess it's something like get a bridge with a second Khan and then echo me to lose my decay. Yeah. Sure. They have 0 cards in hand. LED, okay. They're going to try to just keep going off. Where'd this card come from? What? I thought they had 0 cards in hand. Maybe I was incorrect. Zero. Ah, Mystic Forge, of course. Okay, there we go. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Aetherflux Reservoir? Wow. Aetherflux Reservoir. Whenever you cast a spell, you gain a life for each spell you've cast this turn. Pay 50 life, deal 50 damage. Ouch. Okay, they do have an out, and it's pretty good. Oh, wow, they just missed. Crazy. Crazy. Well, that is... That is one for the highlight reel. We're 2-1. That was very interesting. Crazy. Both teams played hard. Alright, up against Gazbaro. This is pretty all in on the combo, but I don't mind that. It's probably just Dark Depths pass. Because that turns on... I guess I could go Urborg past, because I do want to turn on Hex Mage just a live draw off the top. But I guess if we go Depths pass, untap, play Urborg, play Pedal, it still plays Hex Mage around Daze, which is nice. Yeah, pretty crazy game. Didn't really have too much to say or do. Ancient Tomb. Sure. Pedal? Oh, this could just be like show and tell. Is it? Yikes. Yep. Stage? Ooh, not stage. Yeah, this is a pretty tough one, but life total is not at 0. I assume we see a Kraken response and a draw, unless they just have Force. We don't have Karakas in the main deck, so it's going to make this tough. Okay. They could show and tell in sneak attack, or just use Syrian Spirit Guides to put in sneak attack. Okay. Apes be apes. This is going to be an interesting matchup. We're looking at Sneak and Show. Force, Flusters, Caracas makes sense. I assume Bog, not a Sword Stifle. Yep. Caracas, Flusters, Force. Nice. This is probably a mulligan. Turn 1 Thoughtseize, that's about it. Okay, this is actually pretty good. Keep this. Probably just bottom the Sylvan Scrying. Urborg Pass. Is this just sneak attack? Yikes. Oh, they have Spirit Guide. If they did it the other way around, we could force the sneak attack in response. It's pretty good. Now it's tough. So they've already used 2 Syrian Spirit Guides and only 1 Lotus Petal. Okay. Yeah, so now I think we hit the sneak attack. And keep the crop. But can't do much against these hands. Yeah, Force is really good. Yikes. That is Sneak. Tough. Sorry, I couldn't give you a game. All right, hopefully this third one's pretty good. Up against Brooks Mike. Okay. This is a pretty interesting hand. It does have the Hex Mage, but it doesn't have either piece of the combo. So I'm pretty happy to mulligan this. Okay. Well, now we have the combo and protection. I'm going to keep this and just bottom the Inquisition. I could bottom the Needle, actually. I'm not sure what my opponent is on. I actually don't mind the Inquisition just to buy me some time instead of the Pit and Needle. There is some consensus that maybe Knot of the Sword is the card I don't want. And I want to keep both Needle and Inquisition. Turn 1 Needle, or turn 1 Inquisition and then Needle based on that, so I actually like that. And then just keep the fast mana. Huh. Okay. We don't have a great answer for Lackey. Yeah, this is really... Ooh, okay. Well, that's interesting. That kind of makes me just want to go for Stage Stage Needle on Wasteland instead of Inquisition. And then next turn we can have the 20/20 because of the two, yeah. I think that's the best we can do. Please no Muxus. Oh, they had nothing? What? They have nothing? What? Crazy. Crazy. Wow. Wow. Nuts. Crazy. Gem Palm to cycle to kill the lackey? Is my opponent just tilting? What's happening here? No. Surely not. They're going to attack with it. They only have ones, so here we're pretty happy just to... keep. Yeah. Interesting. It's probably some number of these that I like against Goblins. Crazy. 2 on the play, 3 on the draw, 2 decays. Interesting. No force or oof. That's fair. I guess we have the decays. Bog, Duress, and Other's World. Nice. Crazy. I don't think I've ever seen a Lackey whiff, so that's pretty cool. This is probably okay. It is a turn 1 Hex Mage, if I really want a turn 1 Hex Mage. And then a backup Hex Mage. Opponent went to 6. Needle. Okay. Probably naming Thespian Stage. Yeah, okay. Could just draw Lotus Petal here and be done with it. Another Hex Mage. I think I am pretty happy just using this for Hex Mage, and then next turn if I really need to, we can use Sylvan Scrying off the Elvish Spirit Guide to get an Urborg. This is more than fine. Yeah, now we also have Crop Up. Pretty happy just to pass. The question is, do I want to do anything here? because of Wasteland. Pretty happy to allow the draw. Yeah, I'm pretty happy to untap here. Interesting move from opponent. Yeah. Interesting. Well, at least we got the 3-2, which is nice. Deck felt sweet. I think I'll probably run back green-black and see how that performs, but Stifle and Flusterstorm are pretty relevant in all our matchups, which is nice. So that was pretty good. But yeah, I think I could have gone off a turn earlier there, but happy to have it still work out. Deck was really nice. I think if anything, it's just a little bit of rust from me in those losses. And just looking at sequencing, especially with mana. That's the big one for Dark Depths decks. And probably just knowing the opposition decks as well and knowing what to play around, when to play around them, when you can go off safely. But yeah, this deck was really fun. That is me. I'm going to see who else is playing some Legacy. I'll be back on Thursday night with some Maverick. But if you are keen to find some more content, you can find me on my YouTube channel. First 2 games. The first one we lost to Esper Vial. And the second one we got up against... I'm going to say Ant, but I could be wrong. But yeah, some really interactive games, which is cool. Ramar is playing. Nice. Ramar's playing a sweet deck. It looks like Ramar's playing Sylvan Plug. Nice. A huge thank you to everyone who came in. A huge thank you to Mr. Lee for the raid as well. Really cool to see. Enjoy your weeks, and I will catch you very soon. Cheers.